Welcome, UCL fans, to our Season 2, Week 3 preview. I'm your host, Nintendo Fanatic 64, and we're here to look at the matchups that are going to be happening tomorrow for the UCL. If you do enjoy this video, please leave a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, where I do UCL videos every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. So let's go ahead and we'll take a look at our first matchup. These are no real particular order for it, or if anything, I just kind of looked off the schedule that they have on the UCL Twitter feed. So starting off with our first match, we have the Manchester Magzones, who are 0-2, going up against the South Beach Slow Kings, who are also 0-2. So both teams looking for their first victory for the season. Definitely have been playing a lot better for it. As far as who wants it more for it, it's going to be really hard to say. I would want the Manchester Magzones to win, just because obviously they are, they haven't had a single win ever. Season 1, 0 wins. First 2 weeks, 0 wins. I would hope that they get a win this week for it. So, I remain biased. I don't really have any personal preferences, but if I had to pick one, I would hope the Manchester Magzones would win. But this one going to be a little too close to call in the end, so we'll just have to wait and see how this goes down. So best of luck to both coaches, Fan Attacks from the Manchester Magzones, and David from the South Beach Slow Kings. Moving on to the next matchup we have the Tucson Terrakions taking on the Long Island Reggie Rockies. Both teams are now 1-1. It's going to be a very good matchup nonetheless. They are both really decent battlers. Of course, Nips from the Long Island Reggie Rockies has had a little bit more of a league-type experience when it comes to battling. The King Nappy from the Tucson Terrakions is a decent battler. May not be like the best battler out there for it, but he is definitely going to be able to hold his own. This, again, will be another great matchup, so I cannot wait to see what happens between these two teams this weekend. Moving on to our third match, we have the Carolina Keldios taking on the Bristol City Blazekins. Again, a lot of these teams are 1-1 right now, so we're going to start to see a little bit more differentials going into these weekend matches. Carolina Keldios, sniped a lot of Pokemon from the Bristol City Blazekins, or at least even have a lot of the repeating Mons. So the coach Jay, has the Mega Scizor, that was on the Bristol City Blazekins Season 1. I believe Bristol City Blazekins took Sylveon, which was, something that the Carolina Keldios had from Season 1, so it's definitely going to be interesting. Suicune as well was on the Bristol City Blazekins, now on the Carolina Keldios, so it'll be interesting to see how these two teams will actually mix up, kind of going at each other almost with the opposite teams that they would have had for last season. So, definitely good. Best of luck to the coaches, JYT Gamer from the Carolina Keldios and Game Boy Luke from the Bristol City Blazekins. In the next match we have the Tulsa Talonflames taking on the St. Louis Rampardos. Again, both teams 1-1. Tulsa Talonflames came up really with a nice win last week, beating the Toronto Togekiss and hoping to do another big win with the St. Louis Rampardos. It's going to be a very decent match. The Tulsa Talonflames, they're here to have fun, as most of these teams are. St. Louis Rampardos, of course, only loss is to the champions from Season 1, and they really hope to, get back in there. We know the coach, Dan, a.k.a. A-Drive, really wants to have that UCL Cup or whatever, the championship. He wants to win it. He's gotten a championship in the GBA. He wants one for the UCL. So his next opponents with the Tulsa Talonflames, with their coach, Kristen, a.k.a. Cuddle of Death, will be really tough to handle, I think, though. They drafted really well, have a lot of scary threats, so it'll be interesting to see how this will actually play out. Moving on to our next matchup, we have the Real Maril, who are currently 2-0, taking on the Toronto Togekiss, who are 1-1 right now. So with the Toronto Togekiss only loss so far being from the Tulsa Talonflames, just because they got hacked themselves with a special attack drop in the last attack, preventing them from potentially winning and being a 2-0 team as well. So the coach, of course, the Hidemo, always known as being the hacks god. Will he bring the hacks to Miguel, aka Mega Mogwai, from the Real Maril? I don't really know a whole lot about the other battles that Miguel has done from other places. I know he's been in the GBA. I don't know if he's ever played anyone like the Hacks God himself. So will he prepare for the Hacks? Will he think that, or will Mo bring in like something completely different and actually go for strategy over going for the Hacks on it? We don't know, but we know so far, just even after the first week, that the Toronto Togekiss can play with Hacks once again for it. Moving on to our sixth match, we have the Grand Canyon Greninjas versus the Durham Druttiguns. Both teams again 1-1 for the season. Grand Canyon Greninjas are starting to make a real big comeback. They actually have the MVP from the Durham Druttiguns in Season 1, which is the Mega Charizard X. And we know that they know how to run with it because, of course, last week the Mega Charizard X got a 6-0 sweep on their opponents for that week. They were about to lose and then just came back and completely annihilated it. So this again will be another great matchup. The Durham Druttiguns do play with a little bit of bulk on their side, so will they bring it against the Grand Canyon Greninjas? Will they be able to answer back with a nice offensive presence? We're just going to have to wait and see. Again, a lot of these matches are going to be really great matches, and I can't wait to see them myself. Moving on to the seventh match, we have the Pittsburgh Pichus taking on the Philadelphia for Alligators. Now, Pittsburgh Pichus are currently 1-1. Philadelphia for Alligators 0-2. Haven't been playing the way that they've wanted to play, but, for the people who are fans of the coach of the Philadelphia for Alligators, PK Sparks, that hotness, they're the fans of his are the ones who are keeping him, in this, keep him alive in this season for it. After week 1, he was very sad, very depressed. He was actually getting close to winning, I think, in week 2, but then it just all turned around with him. Like I said, if you didn't see my week 2 review and rankings, it was the week of comebacks. A lot of teams looked like they were on the verge of winning, and then their opponents just came back and won the whole thing. The Pittsburgh Pichus, very similar type of thing. I think they were getting closer to the urge of victory. They defeated the one that would have slowed them down, and it looked very strong, and then they just fell at the end for it. So, this will be an interesting match. Again, PK Sparks going for his first one in the season, but he's going up against, Nexus, who is a pretty decent battler. And I know he's one that, like a lot of coaches, will sometimes go in and get help with team building on as well. So. And then that brings us to our final match, the hype match of the week. We have the Newcastle Nido-Kings taking on the Bronx Bearticks. Now, the Bronx Bearticks right now are undefeated, as are the Newcastle Nido-Kings. This is a really great matchup. Both teams, of course, I don't know how you would want to say it, but they're doing really well so far this season. Newcastle Nido-Kings, of course, at the Season 1, lost the first 2 weeks, and then just came back and won almost every match after that and had the biggest winning streak of the season. So definitely most improved team from Season 1. And then the Bronx Bearticks with, the coach, Joey Pokimane, being one of the biggest threats of the UCL. Of course, obviously the Season 1 champion, has that Kieran Black, has the, his Manaphy once again. He has Reuniclus once again. He's got a lot of threats, and it's definitely going to be one of the hardest teams to take down this season. The Newcastle Nido-Kings have been playing really well this season, though, so that's why this is the hype match. Both teams currently undefeated, going at each other to see who can potentially be number 1. Now, looking back at it, I think right now the Newcastle Nido-Kings have the slight advantage as far as, at least in the rankings. I think Newcastle's ranked number 1, Bronx Bearticks number 2, but that's only because of a differential on it. If you throw out the differentials on it, they're tied for first place, and it could really go down either way. So best of luck to Patters from the Newcastle Nido-Kings and Joey Pokimane, MD, from the Bronx Bearticks. If you do enjoy this video, like I said, please leave a thumbs up. Don't forget, let me know down below what matches are you most looking forward to this weekend as well. And if you do enjoy the new graphics, I'm working, or not graphics, but the new how I did with all these match setups. I'm working on trying to get better pictures for some of the teams. I know some look clearer than the others. And I have some better pictures. I'm just trying to get them edited into these things for it. But thank you all very much again for watching. For everyone who's been watching and supporting this, again, I thank you. You know, our goal with these are trying to become more of an official member of the UCL community, as far as, like, you know, being recognized by them and, you know, getting their support. And I can't do that without any of you. If you have, you know, anybody who has Twitter, definitely, you know, tweet at the UCL, try to help this become more official. I do it myself from time to time as well. I even send direct messages to them as well. But thank you all again very much for watching and checking out the video. You have yourselves a wonderful day and enjoy tomorrow's matchups. Thank you. Take care and goodbye.